Hey everybody, welcome to Rogue Hunters Podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and today we got the Waves,
Hello.
and Snickel cannot be here with us, so it's just me and Waves covering all the topics. Today we got a couple of things to go over. Game Award winners, where I will announce our predictions and who won that. Kojima Productions announcement, PS5 Face Plates, server shutdowns, a couple topics that we thought would be neat. Bluepoint Games, remakes, Cyberpunk reviews, and of course EA. So to get us started, games we've been playing. What have you been playing, Waves?
Honestly, not that much. I've still been chipping away at Valhalla, which I feel like I'm getting what's it called? Burnt out on, because
Oh, really?
yeah, it's just the map is so big. There's so much crap to do in it, and it's just so much to do in such a small amount of time. And
you played on Odyssey, correct?
yeah, I platinumed Odyssey, but
Do you feel that the Odyssey map is bigger, or is Valhalla's map bigger?
Odyssey's map was bigger, but the difference between, I guess, that game and this game is that Odyssey didn't require you to do everything on the map. So, the only thing it required you to do was to do all underwater locations, really. And then, some other miscellaneous stuff. But Valhalla, you gotta do... it's like the orbs or whatever, you gotta do every single orb on the map, on every single map. And,
oh, jeez.
It's just a lot. And then I think the game's bugging out on me. I'm pretty sure I got this one wealth orb, but it's not giving it to me. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's weird. So
wow.
I hope
a Ubisoft game that's buggy. Holy crap.
But other than that, the Virgil DLC came out for DMC5 on the PS4 today, actually.
Ooh.
So I've been playing that. So really only those two games. What about you? Okay. What have you been playing?
I got the Platinum Ghost Tsushima over the weekend. Yeah. Now I'm just working on the New Game Plus, and then I got one more Legends trophy to get all my characters up to rank 20. And that game will be 100% done.
How many characters do you have left?
3.
3?
I got 1 at 20, the one we use for raid. And then I got my R1 at rank 11, so he's almost done.
I know the vast majority of people that Ghost of Tsushima. Now that you've gone to Platinum and all that, what's your opinion on it?
I really liked it. I like the first part of Island. It was kind of slow to begin with. But after I got towards the end of the second island, I got really developed in the story. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing all the side quests last. I'm like, man, these side quests are actually pretty good too. And all the characters, the ones you're helping out in the main story, checking what their path was and what happened to them. And I've really grown to really like the game, and I can honestly say it was my game of the year.
What's your favorite side character? I liked Masako.
That was the widow, right?
That was the old lady, the archer one.
Yeah, okay. I liked her, but I liked the old man.
I guess, yeah, they're both archers.
I thought he was... Yeah. Yuna, she was okay, but she was mainly in there throughout the whole main quest, so I was like, yeah, it's just Yuna. But she had some interesting side quests, though.
Sorry, let me...
yeah, I was reading a message. And then I played Fallout 76 over the weekend with one of my buddies, because we wanted to do they introduced the Brotherhood Steel with their latest update, so we want to check that out.
I heard they fixed that game. Like, no, it's not like as
Dude,
shitty anymore or whatever.
No, it's not. It's dude. I was running my PS5 and that game was running great. I have no bug issues, nothing.
Which is more than the than Cyberpunk can say, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, that's for later. We're gonna get so much hate. We're gonna continue with the hate for the last two weeks in a row. Do you plan on okay? Well, that's all I've been playing.
You got any ideas for like any next games you want to play or anything like that?
I want to finish up Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Game of the year or the normal one?
Yeah, Game of the Year. Game of the Year.
I gotta get that online trophy.
DLC. Oh, the Vendetta one? Already got it.
I don't know. I remember you guys talking about it, but like, isn't there like something where the leaderboards or something are tied to the online and it like fucks up your trophy or something for the DLC?
I have no idea.
I remember hearing something about that.
I have no idea. I haven't got to the DLC yet. So that's why I'm trying to get Ghost done so I can hop on Vendetta and finish that up, because that shouldn't take that long to beat anyway.
Yeah, you just gotta kill whoever killed Snickel.
Oh, that's what I did.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it just popped up for me like, hey, this guy killed the Steve-095. I shall go avenge my friend. And then it took me like 3 captains later to actually find the guy I wanted to kill.
I think I'm gonna finish up Devil May Cry 5 on the PS4. Like the new DLC.
Okay.
Then probably hop on Shadow of Mordor. I'm probably just gonna get the Vendetta thing. Because I already have the, what's it called? I already have the Platinum on the original one, but I guess, like, I might as well get the Game of the Year one done, because I bought it thinking that I had, like, a separate trophy list, because it was, like, cheaper to buy that than it was to buy the DLC at the moment.
Okay.
So I didn't know they were separate trophy lists. Yeah. So I just own both of them, basically, so... I mean, I already own it. Might as well get it done, right? So,
yeah.
What about you? You got anything up next?
Anything up next? No. Like I said, just Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, and I might do. I've been working on Spider-Man Remastered a bit here and there.
I need to get back to that. I heard they added 60 FPS with ray tracing or something like that.
Yeah, they did. And Miles Morales, I believe, did it. I think they did it on both, actually. I haven't tried it yet, but somebody's told me it's freaking beautiful.
I believe it. That's like the one, like the ray tracing looked awesome, and the resolution mode, but it was also like,
but
man, my eyes are hurting.
Yeah, so exactly. I was like, I want my 60 frames.
So like, I'm happy they added ray tracing, even if it's like a smaller amount of ray tracing or whatever compared to the resolution mode. Like, I'm just happy that it's there with it.
Exactly. They're implementing it more. It seems like they're slowly. It's going to take a while. We both knew that coming into this generation, though. Yeah. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, like lots of other games this generation.
Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Just as a reminder, get your PlayStation Plus games: Worms Rumble, Just Cause 4, Rocket Arena, and Bugsnax. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you got 3 more weeks? 2? 2 or 3 more weeks.
Worms Rumble and Bugsnax are different, right? Because I think they're there until February.
Are they really? I didn't know about Worms Rumble. I knew Bugsnax was.
I think both of them. I'm not sure, actually.
But at least pick up Just Cause 4 and Rocket Arena.
Yeah, you've got
if you want.
2 weeks, 3 weeks for those.
Yeah,
I think 2 weeks actually.
Just go on and to your library. That's all you gotta do.
The Game Awards happened last week on Thursday, and
man, what a fun 2 hours that was.
I don't even remember what got announced. I just remember Arc 2 with Vin Diesel, that Back 4 Blood game.
Horizon Zero Diesel, yeah.
Horizon Zero Diesel. And,
you know that Back 4 Blood game got a release date?
Really? Already? Well, no, isn't it like alpha right now? Or something like that?
Yeah, it's like alpha. I wrote it down. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's going to be June 22nd of 2021.
June 22nd of 2020? That's actually pretty...
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Close.
I wonder if it's only... Is it like on everything or just PC?
I heard everything.
That would be cool.
Yeah. People didn't... When I had a 360, I loved Left 4 Dead. So... This is just like... This is Left 4 Dead 3. That's all it is.
It's made by the same guys, too, I think. Turtle Rock Studios.
Yeah.
I think it's... Those devs are like former Valve devs or something like that.
Yes, they are.
Before this game, I think they made that... what's that shitty game? Where you play against, like... where you play as, like, 4 people and you hunt one monster. Evolve.
Oh, Evolve?
Yeah, they made that game. I think that was their prior game to this.
Yeah. More power to them. And then the original guy who made Dead Space, his new game got announced. I forgot the name of it,
Callisto
but it looks fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're on one of the moons of Saturn or something, right?
Did you hear about the weird thing about that today? That they announced?
No.
It's tied into the lore of PUBG.
No.
Apparently.
How the hell does that work?
I'm not sure. I think it's just a rumor. I don't think it's like 100% true.
Okay, if that's true, I'm gonna need like a shot of whiskey and that Deb to sit down with me and explain this to me.
I'm sure they'll do a good job. It's the guy who directed Dead Space 1 and 2. And I think he did 3 also, but we talk about that one. I think it'll be a good game.
What else? Returnal, the first AAA title by Housemarque for Sony.
Oh yeah, that got a release date, March 21st.
19th. Yeah.
Did you see the tweet about that game? About how they're using the adaptive triggers?
Are they really nice?
Yeah, it's like
I love the adaptive triggers. So
if it's like mid L2, you do like a different. You do like your alternate fire. Then if you do full on L2, you do like your super attack or something like that. I don't entirely remember.
Oh, okay.
But I'm excited for that. Housemarque is like, I know their last game they worked on was some shitty like battle royale. But Housemarque has been like good. Like they've made good games. I like them.
Now, are they owned by Sony?
I think they're like they're not owned by Sony, but they've only really made games for Sony. It's like how Insomniac was. Like they weren't owned by Sony, but they were basically owned by Sony.
They had a good relationship. Okay.
And then, can we talk about that Returnal? Like, did you see the Returnal gameplay trailer? The beginning, like, blue-balled me so badly. I was like, Silent Hill! I was like, I went in thinking that Silent Hill wasn't gonna happen, but I knew it was still, like, in the back of my mind, because people, like, talked about it happening. And then, when I saw that door, I was like, Silent Hill, Silent Hill, Silent Hill.
Well, at first it did, like, Sony Studios. I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, no way, this is fucking Silent Hill. And they're like, oh. I was like, oh. I was like, okay, I'm so excited for this.
It feels so out of place. Like, I feel like they knew that was gonna happen. There's no way you, like, show... especially in the game that's, like, third person. Like... Right. It's so out of place.
Man, they trolled. They trolled.
They trolled us.
They're just trolling with that. They're like, come on.
What other...
let's see. Back 4 Blood. Returnal. There wasn't really too much shown. Evil West was shown.
That's the...
And an Evil Dead the game.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised by the Evil Dead the game.
Yeah. And Evil West, like a Western, where you're, like, killing, like, demons and all that.
Yeah. That one looked interesting. I'll wait to, like, actually look at it, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, and then... And this has nothing to do with the Game Awards, so I was, like, looking at, like, some games that are, like, were announced for 2021. And one I did not know was there's a new Lord of the Rings game coming out.
Is it the Gollum game?
Yeah. I did not know about that.
I think that was like the first next-gen title announced or something like that.
Oh, okay. And then some Werewolf Apocalypse Earthblood game that I want to check out later.
Yeah, 2021 is going to be hopefully a more exciting year for games than 2020. I say that, but there's really been a good amount of games this year that are good.
Oh yeah, I can't complain about the games that came out. You know, not every year is going to be like awesome year for games. You know, and I understand with the new consoles coming out this year, a lot of things got slow. But I think the next 2 years are going to be pretty hyped.
First, we want to say congratulations to all the winners of the Game Awards. I guess we should say that first.
Sony whooped some ass, let's just say.
Sony pretty much sweeped, like...
Yeah.
Every game, what's it called? Every category that they had, like, a nomination, and they won.
Almost, yeah.
Like, Final Fantasy VII is technically not Sony, but it was a Sony exclusive, so we can say they won that.
Won that,
so,
yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Like, I'm looking at, like, all the notes of games that won, you know, and I'm like, Sony, PC, Sony.
So congrats.
NetherRealms.
Congrats to, like, the Sony Worldwide Studios. Like, y'all are kicking some ass over there.
Y'all make phenomenal games.
And, but also, I guess we should talk about the controversy surrounding the Game Awards.
Let's hear it. You're all hyped for this one, so I'm just letting you go.
I mean, I personally have no issue with this game winning the amount of times it won.
I know.
I know a lot of people have issues with it. I was actually going to leave this to you, because I personally don't care. The Last of Us Part 2 won 9 awards, I think. Which is, like, the most in game awards history.
4, 5, 6, and then technically 7 for best performance. So 7.
And
for ones that we're keeping track of. So
I think it won every like category it was in except for art direction and score and music.
Yeah.
And I personally have no issue with it winning Game of the Year.
Oh no!
I personally wanted Ghost of Tsushima to win, but
yes, I personally want Ghost of Tsushima to win Game of the Year, but I'm okay with The Last of Us winning it. It still had a good story, you know, graphically amazing, sound, everything. I can't argue with it. I know a lot of people say it won for certain reasons, but you know what? Let them people be them people.
I think it also has to be said that like game award shows like for games are just fucking dumb.
Oh yeah,
this is just my opinion, I guess, but like, I think we talked about this when the nominations happened. Like, best which one was it? Art direction. Yeah, art direction. The parameters or whatever for it is for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. So, which one is it? The creative or the technical? If we're gonna go by creative, then Hades or Ori and the Will of the Wisps should have won it. If we're gonna go by technical, The Last of Us 2 should have won it, because there's like no game that has done what The Last of Us 2 has done on a technical output.
Right. Well, look at best sports / racing. Those should be 2 separate categories, not one. You know, there's certain ways they could have done it a little bit better. Did you get the email from Sony asking you to give up their Game of the Year stuff? The survey.
Oh, yeah, I got it. It had like the new platinum trophy image on it and all that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I filled that out a couple days ago.
I probably will. I assume Ghost of Tsushima is going to win that one.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because that's a huge disparity between the critics and the gamers that I've seen. Most people liked Ghost of Tsushima more, while the critics liked the Last of Us 2 more. That being said, like, what was your... I know you only caught glimpses of it, but what was your overall thoughts on the Game Awards?
Oh, I actually got to sit down and watch the full 2-hour show. Yeah, I got home and it was just starting. I missed, like, maybe... I came in with Sephiroth fucking killing Mario.
Oh,
yeah. Overall, you know, I watched it... I didn't watch it. Did I watch it? Yeah, I did watch it last year. I watched it the last 2 years. And to me, it's just something that I use usually as background noise, you know. But I paid a little more attention to it this year because of the podcast and what we were doing with it. And overall, too many actors that have nothing to do with the game industry giving out awards. Let it be the devs, please.
Yeah. That's something you and I actually talked about in our group chat. Oh
yeah.
I've seen every Game Awards since it started back in, I want to say 2013. I'm not entirely sure, actually. But, like, I even watched, like, the old ones that Keeley did back on VGA Spike or whatever. VGA Spikes or whatever.
Spike TV?
Spike TV VGAs. Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Video Game Awards Spike TV, something like that.
I remember that now. Holy crap.
And,
I feel old.
The only one I skipped was last year, and that was due to an obligation at school, and also I felt like it was ridiculous how many things Death Stranding was nominated for, so I was just like, it's rigged. So, which is how a lot of people feel this year.
Last Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima were fucking in everything.
Yeah. So,
well, they couldn't let Sony win 3 years in a row.
I want to say, like, my favorite... They didn't do it this year, and I don't know if they didn't do it last year, because I didn't watch, but...
Okay, what?
They used to have a thing called, I want to say it was Game Designer Spotlight Award or something like that. It was like some award for, like, a person that was in the industry for, like, a long time. And
no, they didn't do that last year.
They didn't.
I would have remembered that one. No.
The first one was given to an Atari dev back in the 70s. From back in the 70s. Okay. She came up and she got the award, and then that was purely because of her involved, like, her role in where games are now, basically. And and I think the year after that they gave it to Hideo Kojima because of all the stuff that happened with Konami the year prior. And I didn't see it this year, and it kind of sucks, and it's kind of the issue in general that I have the Game Awards, and you and I talked about this. This isn't a celebration of games, like
no.
Keeley said like 1,000 times on on stage that night. This is like, this is more of a, please take us serious. You have the Oscars, so look, we have the Game Awards. We're serious now, kind of thing.
See, it should be a celebration of games and gamers, and the industry.
Like, I think the only people that actually were up there and nominated people for awards and announced the award winners were 2 voice actors and Reggie.
Yeah.
And then I guess technically Keanu, because he was in Cyberpunk, but
and I kind of understand
Tom.
What's his name? Tom Holland, because he's playing he's Nathan Drake. Mm-hmm. So to me, okay, you fit in with this. You're going to be playing a video game character in a movie. Mm-hmm. So you made sense to me, but nobody else, really.
Like, who'd you have? Brie Larson, Gal Gadot, Christopher Nolan, the guy in Tenet that I can't remember his name.
Nolan kind of made sense a little bit, but not really.
It's just like, if this is a thing to celebrate the devs, to celebrate games, to celebrate gamers,
right.
You should have. This should be like game developers up there. This should be their night. This should be them announcing the winners. I know why it's not, because you get Gal Gadot on the stage and people are like, "Oh, look, it's Gal Gadot." But like, imagine if the Oscars had just had like fucking people from the music industry like announcing all the winners, or like if you had the Grammys like had people from fucking video games announcing the winners. Like, what? That's just something I wish would change for the Game Awards. I know it won't, but
it won't. But at least we got some good memes out there from it. My favorite's from Naughty Dog. If you're cold, they're cold. Let your devs in with that lady behind the window.
Oh yeah, that was so weird. You should have just had like 2 separate like calls or something. I like the Did you see Jeff Keighley's shoes that night?
Yes, he's trying. That dude has to be old, and he's trying to feel like young, and dude, you're having a midlife crisis, and you know it, and you're trying to tell the world that you are.
It's so weird seeing him wear like basketball shoes with fucking a suit, and then the suit had like zippers like all over the place. I don't know. This year's Game Awards was kind of underwhelming for me, to say the least. Yeah. I can't compare it to last year since I didn't watch last year, but
last year's wasn't that great either. So I think my favorite year was 2018 with God of War, because that was a pretty fun and good year.
I remember that one. They announced the Crash Nitro Kart refueled. No, wait, it was Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. There you go.
I took it Sony beating Rockstar for Game of the Year.
That was crazy. I still can't believe that happened.
I did not expect that.
I wanted God of War to win badly, but I was like, "There's no way." Red Dead's gonna win it anyways.
You're right.
Then when they won it, I was like,
"Man, we're all wrong." And then last year, man, Sekiro's not gonna win. Sekiro's won. Man, Sekiro's a piece of shit. Come on.
Whoa. Let's hold on there.
It's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that's what people were saying.
Yeah. I thought that Death Stranding was gonna win. Last year, just because of.
I thought so too. Kojima
and Kaylee have their like little butt buddies or whatever.
Well, would you like me to get through who won then for tonight?
Oh yeah.
So I'll start off. I went in the order that we chose. Best game direction. We all guessed wrong, and The Last of Us 2 won.
What did we all get? I guess since it's just us two, we can say what we chose.
You chose Hades for best game direction. I chose Hades.
Okay.
Best narrative. You chose Ghost of Tsushima. I chose Ghost. The Last of Us Part 2 won. There's a thing going on here. Best art direction. You chose Hades. I chose Hades. Ghost of Tsushima won. Best score and music. Me and you both chose Doom Eternal. Final Fantasy VII Remake won.
I can't believe Remake
I have
won.
a problem. Yeah, I got a problem with that because I love the soundtrack for Doom Eternal.
Like, if it wasn't going to go to Doom Eternal, it should have gone to Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, yes. 100% agree. Best audio design. Audio design. Me and you both chose Last of Us, and The Last of Us won. Hey, we got a point, Waves. Best performance. We both chose Ashley Johnson, and Laura Bailey as Abby won.
I cannot believe Laura Bailey. I feel like this was a pick to just annoy people.
It did,
like,
because nobody could stand Abby.
Like, first of all, like, I just want to say Laura Bailey's an amazing voice actress and everything. But,
yes.
But fuck. The amount of people, like, went crazy when Abby won. That was, I was just surprised.
You show me the tweets. You show me all the tweets. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I really thought Ashley Johnson was going to win, though. I had it for her.
Yeah, I thought she was going to win, too.
Alright. Next page. Games for Impact. You chose Through the Darkest of Times, and I chose Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why won. Best Ongoing. You chose No Man's Sky. I remember you just randomly choosing that. I chose Apex. No Man's Sky won, and I was shocked with that one.
I wasn't, because No Man's Sky, this year at least, like, really changed its image or whatever. Like, it released really badly, but now it's like an actual, like, it's a pretty good game.
Maybe a game that came out like a week ago will turn around. We'll never know. We'll see. Best Indie. You chose Spelunky 2, and I chose Fall Guys. Hades won, which I should have seen coming.
Yeah, we should have seen that coming.
Yeah. Best VR. You chose Half-Life. I chose Star Wars Squadron. Half-Life Alex won. So at this point, Waves, you got 3 correct. I got 2.
Nice.
Snickel, by this way, has 3 at this point. Innovation and accessibility. Me and you both chose The Last of Us. The Last of Us won. In all fairness, it deserved that.
It's like the amount of accessibility things it has was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. There's stuff on there I wouldn't even think of. Best action. You chose Neo 2. I chose Doom. Hades won.
Can we go back to accessibility real quick? I was gonna say,
yeah.
There's a video. I don't know if you saw it. There's a video of, like, an actual blind person finishing The Last of Us 2. Like, it's not like that one guy who got, like, the platinum in Spider-Man with the... He had blindness, but he wasn't actually blind. There's, like, there's a video out there of an actual blind person finishing The Last of Us 2 with all the accessibility issues. Not the accessibility issues, but all the accessibility stuff on. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
I
have to look that up. That'd be kind of interesting to see, actually. Alright, page 3. Best action adventure. Waves, you chose Spider-Man. I chose Ghost of Tsushima. The Last of Us Part 2 won that.
You know, they talked about it on the Game Awards. I didn't know, but apparently for the last 4 or 3 Game Awards, the one that's won Best Action Adventure is the one that's won the Game of the Year. Yeah,
Really?
they talked. I forget her name. I think it's Sydney Goodman. I think was her name.
Okay.
Whooper Watch.
Hmm.
She said the one who won Action Adventure the last 3 years has usually won the Game of the Year award. So I was surprised by that.
Wow. Well, that's actually interesting trend.
And I'm guessing that's more because Action Adventure just puts in like so many genres like into one box.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was just an interesting thing that I saw.
Huh. Okay, the next category we had Best Roleplay. You chose Wasteland 3, I chose Persona 5, Final Fantasy 7 Remake 1.
Which is more of an
Best
action
Fighting.
game,
Best Fighting Game. You chose Street Fighter, I chose Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 11 1. In all fairness, these are games that weren't released this year, but let's just throw that out.
This one is a sham, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah. Let's hear it,
Wish. I shouldn't have picked Street Fighter 5. I should have picked either Grand Blue or fucking Under Night and Birth X. I don't know how to say the rest of that. Because those are real fighting games.
Right.
Alright. You can keep going.
Best Family. You chose Crash, wonder why. And I chose Animal Crossing 1. Best Simulation slash Strategy. You chose Crusader Kings. I chose Flight Simulator 1. Which is funny because the game goes to Microsoft. That's a Microsoft one, but yet the game hasn't been released on the Xbox yet. Next game was Best Sport slash Racing. You chose F1 2020. I chose Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk wins that award. Final page. Best multiplayer. We all chose Among Us. And Among Us won. Content Creator of the Year. Me and you both chose, all three of us actually chose Elena Pierce. Valkyrie won. Best Debut Game. Me, you, and Snickel actually chose Mortal Shell. Phasmophobia won. And then, of course, Game of the Year.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Damn.
Phasmophobia is not even finished. Like, it's still in early access. It shouldn't be on here. That's all I'm going to say.
It'll be on next year, too. Don't worry. It's the Game Awards. It'll be on next year. It's finished this time. Now we count it twice. And then on Game of the Year, all three of us chose Ghosts. It was The Last of Us Part 2. And so the final score was Snickel got 5 right. You got 5 right. I got 8 right. So I am your gaming award winner champion.
Next time I'm gonna your gamer of the year. That's what you are.
Oh, nice.
Next time I'm going to just choose all the obvious picks.
That's what I did.
Well, that's a wrap to the year.
I don't know.
To the game award year. Hopefully,
hopefully next year's better.
Yeah, hopefully next year will be better. Don't get too salty about who won. Winners. You know.
Yeah. Don't hate on it, please.
Don't send death threats
to developers. One, it's not worth your time or energy. It's over. Just move on with your life.
But I know for all of us here, including Snickel, even though he's not here, our game of the year was Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
That gets the Rogue Hunters Platinum Trophy or whatever.
Yeah. In a few weeks, though, we've been talking. We talked about this on our first episode. That at the end of the year, we want to do our own favorite games of this year. So I think we'll be doing that the last week of the month.
I think we'll probably
right?
I think we'll probably change it to the best games we've played this year, not necessarily they came out this year.
Yeah,
Because if
that's
we
what I
do
was
like
thinking too.
games that came out this year, Snickel's only gonna be able to say Ghost of Tsushima or Assassin's Creed
And
Valhalla. So.
yeah, I think me and you play more newer games than he is, but
I think
and plus he don't have a 5 yet either, so he can't add Astro's Playroom to his list like we can.
yeah. Dang, I actually did play a lot of games that came out this year. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we'll probably do that on episode 6, which will be the week of the 29th. Because that'll be the last week of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll probably do it then.
That's the best time to do it.
So, catch us on that episode.
Yeah. Future updates. Spoilers. I chose Ghost. But speaking of, like, Game of the Years, a very popular developer is, gonna show off something tomorrow. Kojima Productions. It's its 5-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying they're gonna announce something. Now, as I've been on Twitter, I've been trying to see what people are speculating. I've come up with 4 things. Death Stranding PS5 version, which I would love for the PS5. Just a free update would be cool. A Kojima Studios production. Is it production? Yeah, Kojima Productions joining PlayStation Studios, which I can see happening actually a little bit. Silent Hill, or even a new IP. What are your thoughts, Waves?
If the rumors are true, then it's Silent Hill. If they
Yes.
aren't true, it's definitely a new IP. I guess I don't know. I know they aren't going to be bought by Sony. Kojima's pretty adamant on staying independent.
Exactly. So
I don't know.
I can see the Death Stranding PS5 update. Actually,
that might be like a throw-in, like announcement.
Right, but I don't think that's going to be their big announcement.
Yeah, I can see
if it isn't Silent Hill, then it's going to be a horror game, though.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some kind of horror game.
Because I think Kojima has said he wants to do one. He's been wanting to do one for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know. I have an issue with Kojima being in charge of Silent Hills, and it's purely just from me being a fucking fanboy. But
you a fanboy? Never.
But I think it'll be interesting to see it back. I know a lot of people want to see it back, and I hope it is that. If not, then like Silent Hills-esque, which I think would be better for Kojima, honestly, because making a game under like the Silent Hills moniker carries a lot of weight to it. Like just from what I remember, from hearing about the Silent Hills game, what he was making wasn't a Silent Hill game. It was a horror game.
PT. PT,
yeah,
right?
PT. But it was like the actual game name was Silent Hills.
Oh, okay.
It was not a Silent Hill game, and that's something that's gonna be like always like pricking at them or whatever. If they do decide to go that route, I think he should make a brand new IP horror game. That'll be crazy. I hope that's what gets announced tomorrow.
And you know what? And Kojima put out Death Stranding in, 3 years? You know? And probably about 3 years it took them to make Death Stranding. So, if he made anything, I can see that coming within 2021, 2022, if it gets announced.
I don't know about 2021, but 2022 probably. Or 2023.
Yeah, I can see 2022.
Yeah, I guess like the only difference would be Death Stranding didn't have. I'm just going into this like game developer thing, I guess.
Okay, good.
Death Stranding didn't have that many unique assets like they were mostly the same. You know, different colored rocks and shit like that. But
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
Wow, and then
I love the idea of Death Stranding, like what are we called? The ghost things.
the
BT,
BTs.
no, not BTs.
Yeah.
BTs, that's it. I love that idea. That was like really cool. Weird story, but it's Kojima, so what do you expect?
When I first played it, I found it so pretentious. Like,
Oh my god!
like, this is when I first played it, and I think that was more because I went in the mind of it being like, "Oh, this game's overhyped" and all this stuff, and then, this is probably gonna be one of the games I put in like the top 10 that I played this year, because I didn't really actually play it until lockdown happened, and I didn't really have anything else to play, so I was like, no, I guess I'll just play this, and then I finally played it, and then I was like, I get it now. This game's awesome. Yeah.
I think me and you both started playing about the same time, and we're like, okay, this is way better than what we thought it was going to be.
I was like, I was wrong. I can attest to that now.
But yeah, that is on my list as well for one of the favorite games I played this year.
Oh, spoiler alert.
And it's beautiful, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful, too. Like,
oh my god.
They did a good job with it. But,
oh, yeah.
I guess the only thing really that we have left to see is if it's going to be PlayStation exclusive or multi-platform, and I think he's more leaning towards multi-platform, but...
Yeah, but Sony writes him another blank check again. I can see him doing it.
Or... There is a possibility.
Well, Death Stranding was because Sony got him started, yeah.
There is a possibility that it can be...
Death Stranding was exclusive. Well, yeah, it's still consoles.
Yeah. There's a possibility.
On a console, it's exclusive to PlayStation. PC, it's also on PC.
Yeah. There is a possibility, though, that might be a Microsoft exclusive.
My biggest gripe, though, with Death Stranding, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, people said that game was shit until it hit PC, and then they're like, oh, this game's fucking phenomenal. Dude, this game was phenomenal when it hit the PS4. Y'all just being haters.
That's because people are dumb. Like, this will probably just... This is changing the topic to fucking exclusives, but I understand, like, the hate towards exclusives, because you don't own said machine, but you want to play said game, but you don't want to buy another $500 box to play it. And if you have a strong PC, you can probably even run it better. But also, like, if we lived in, like, this utopia, I guess, where developers can finish the games that they made 100% to what they, to their liking, and that developers didn't make every game for monetary value and all that stuff, and that every game can be like on everything, then yeah, that would be fucking awesome. But we don't. The thing that sells consoles is exclusivities, and a lot of people say that's not true or whatever, but it's very obviously true. The PS4 destroyed Xbox because Xbox had no exclusives. Nintendo is literally living off of exclusives. You can't sit there and be like, oh, I want my exclusives. And what's funny is that people only really have an issue with Sony exclusives. Like, I never see anyone scream about Super Mario Odyssey not being on the PS5. But it's dumb.
And Sony has all these studios. How many studios does fucking Xbox have? I hate to tell you.
It sucks that I won't be able to play Hellblade on my PS5. I'm gonna play it on my PC, but it sucks. But that's how.
Yeah, I would love to play Hellblade too.
Yeah, that's how the world works. Right.
I'm not gonna go out and buy an Xbox for that. I'll just play it on my PC. But still,
that's how the world works.
Yeah.
Money runs the world, or whatever Snickel said last time.
Don't forget, Microsoft got Titanfall. We got and then Titanfall 2 became multi-player,
It was like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead was Xbox 360 only, and now Back for Blood is coming to PS5 and PS4 also.
Yep.
But people just need to stop being so anti that. Like, it's also like, this is how we got so many good games, like, out of the PS4 generation from Sony's devs, because here's like the difference between how Xbox got their studios and how Sony got their studios. Like, Sony cultivated their studios into what they are now, while Microsoft's thinking is, if we buy good studios, they make good game for us. Which, I mean, might be true. I'm not gonna say that it's not true, but like, this is like something for Sony that was years in the making or whatever, and Microsoft's on that course too. Like, Ninja Theory, I think, what's her name? Ninja Theory, Ninja Theory.
Yeah,
made DMC, Devil May Cry, and they made Hellblade, which are two good games. They made they acquired Double Fine Studios, which mostly made like those like visual novel kind of games. I don't really know how to describe them.
All I'm saying though, Bethesda plus Microsoft equals more broken game. Okay, but yeah, you got that. But look at Sony with Insomniac, or Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Then we got Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studios. Oh my god.
My only thing now with Sony would be, I read somewhere that their green lighting process is different now. So,
okay.
Back then, Sony would just green light, like on the PS3 days, they would just green light anything because they're like, we gotta get consoles on people's hands. So that's how we got Puppeteer, Gravity Rush, and all that stuff. Now they're more selective of their of what they greenlight.
Okay.
So I think that's why also we started seeing more people leave Sony recently. Like the Days Gone director left.
Right. Like we were talking last week about, yes.
Toyotama, he created Silent Hill and Gravity Rush and Siren, and Puppeteer, he left.
I understand why Sony's doing it, because Xbox could live off failing more and more often. Sony really can't, and like they need to sell the console and the games and all that. I understand that, but if you think about it, the games they greenlit for the PS4 era all have been sold really well too. So it's hard to say what they're going to go for. It's only time to tell what's going to come.
Yeah,
with this.
I think that's the only thing really that for me is concerning, I guess. Because Sony for the longest time has been, if you want to make the game, you come to us. I know for like the reason a lot of studios went with Microsoft was, specifically for Ninja Theory, I guess, was they went up to them and they were like, we're Microsoft, we got money, make the game you want to make, we're not going to tell you what to do. Which is like the thinking Sony used to have. So that's my only real concern. Like, are we going to start seeing like this mass leaving? Are we just going to see like a bunch of people leave these Sony studios because of these new rules? Like, I think under these new rules, Dreams would have not gotten made, and whether or not that's a good or bad thing, that's up to you. I don't think Kojima's game probably wouldn't have gotten made under these new rules, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess, like you said.
Oh yeah, and you know what? The nice thing too I loved about the PS4 era was that every game that we got that was just a Sony first-party studio, none of them were sequels. None of them got a sequel. If you think about it, all the sequels are going to be coming towards the PS5 era now.
Well, that's more because games would take so long to make now.
Well, yeah, that too. But also, the way the PS5 they're saying games are going to be made is that their base point is going to be like PS4 and then upscaling from there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting to see, yeah. Can't wait. 2021 is going to be a good year for new games.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's see. You got anything else to add to this conversation?
No, I'm done.
Alright. Our next topic, this one's pretty quick. PS5 Face Plates. As y'all know, both face plates can come off on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
About around November, I believe, somebody was trying to make faceplates. Was considered second party, right?
Mm-hmm. I think third party.
A second party. Oh yeah, technically third party. Yeah, you're right. A third party was trying to make them, but Sony shut their asses down pretty quick. The reason for that is that they're trying to put the Sony logo on those faceplates, so that's a big red flag. And then their name was PlayStation 5 faceplates, which they're right on infringing on a trademark.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they got shut down. Apparently, I was watching this story last week before we started doing the podcast. A company called Game Armor is making faceplates. They only got 3 colors so far. It looks like red, blue, and black. But so far they haven't been shut down. It's been a week, so who knows? I honestly, if they make them, cool. Because all it is just 3D printing them, I bet. It won't take that long to do. But I honestly will wait for like a Sony one, because I think they come up with some really cool ideas. I would love to have a Spider-Man one. To go with my Spider-Man PS4 Pro. Or even like a Dark Souls or a Ghost one. That would be kind of cool to have.
So they're making both PS4 and PS5 faceplates?
No, just the PS5 faceplates. I got the PS4 Pro Spider-Man edition.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I want a Spider-Man for PS5.
I don't think I'd actually like buy any faceplates if you want me to. Oh, look who decided to come.
And we have a special guest on our hands. It is the Stevo95. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, our guest, to the podcast today.
Oh, hello.
Back to what I was saying. I don't know. I don't really think I'd buy. I know you and Snickel before said you would buy faceplates.
Yeah, I would buy a faceplate
for PS5. I personally probably wouldn't.
I don't know why. The white has really grown on me. I do like it.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure yet.
Hi, Snickel.
Hello. Sorry. I had, well, I'll tell you later.
You want to tell us what you've been playing, Snickel?
Oh, it's nothing new. It's the same old, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Day in and day out.
Just that? Nothing else?
Nah, yeah, that's literally been it. I tried to get on Battlefield Hardline and try to get that Test Your Metal trophy, but no one plays the competitive in that game for fun, so I just gave up.
How many people do you need for
that? I think it said 5, maybe 8. I'm not sure. I don't feel like getting people together. I mean, if people are interested, but I'm not gonna.
If you're interested in doing Battle Light Hardlines, hit up Snickel, please.
No, don't hit him up. This man needs to stop playing these shitty multiplayer games.
That's why I wasn't even mad.
Games.
Dude, that's why I wasn't even mad. Like, I figured out it couldn't work, and then I was like, oh, well, I mean, I can't do all the Battlefield games now, but it don't matter to me.
We were on the topic of PS5 faceplates.
Okay.
You want to repeat what you said, Brian?
About back in November, basically, company tried doing them, and Sony shut down because they were putting the PlayStation logo on the faceplates, and the company was called PlayStation 5 faceplates.
Yeah.
So they kind of was infringing on a trademark. While a different company is basically it's called Game Dash Armor.com. We got a link in at the bottom for them. They're basically got like three colors. They're going to be making them. But I said I'll probably for actual Sony made one if I ever do get one.
Yeah,
That was basically it.
I I don't know, I go back and forth with it, but I can definitely see how an outside source other than Sony, not making them, but having the name PS5 faceplates. I mean, it kind of goes into the whole thing that I've always talked about with like PS4 trophies, aka PS5 trophies now. Like he always like used like PlayStation's like IP to like better himself, if that makes sense, or to like become more known.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys remember this, but back when he like originally made his channel, he did like PS4 news videos, like before the PS4 came out, and his name was PS4 Trophy. So people were probably like, "Oh, yo, he's like a legit guy. Like he's legit like working for Sony or something." So I could see how Sony wouldn't want companies to use their IPs to profit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Especially when you made a website named that too. So
yeah, that's.
I just see Controller Chaos actually doing it. I would do that. Go through them for any third party because I've got a few like painted controllers through them and they do really well work. So. Then the only topics we covered was Game Awards. You tied with Waves for guesses. I won for that little thing. You got 5 right. Waves got 5 right, and I got 8.
Damn.
And then we're talking about the Kojima Productions announcement for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that's gonna be.
We're thinking Silent Hill.
I'm hoping it's Silent Hill. I'm thinking it's a new IP.
Did I don't remember. Did who owned that IP before?
Silent Hill, Konami.
Did they? I know something happened and there was discussions. Did Sony buy it from them?
There's rumors.
There was a transaction, wasn't there?
So there was rumors that Sony was gonna buy basically every IP that Konami owned. That's not true. That will never happen. But now there's rumors that they like entered an exclusive partnership or whatever. So now they're gonna get the MGS1 remade by Bluepoint. We're gonna get Silent Hill, but not Silent Hill by Kojima, but Silent Hill by the original creator, which left Sony 2 weeks ago now, I think. And I think that was it, actually.
Yeah, and then another one was we're thinking it's gonna be the Death Stranding PS5 update. We're gonna get announced tomorrow too.
Yeah, that would be a I think that would be more of a possibility than
like a new game.
Than a new game. Yeah, I mean, maybe something is teased, or like a thought is teased. Or like
we're more thinking it's gonna be a tease, and then just random stuff.
Yeah, like you know how like these games when they get released are where they do like a little like 30-second clip or whatever, and then the friggin' title of the game will come in and then boom, gone. I could see something like that happening
too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Kojima, so he likes to frickin' make you guess.
Enigmas.
I'm thinking if it's a new game, it's gonna be a new IP. I really think the only thing we have to wait for, if it is a new IP, is if it's PlayStation exclusive or just multi-platform. Right. But
could you imagine? I'm just throwing this out here. This would be best case scenario. I know we're all thinking it, so I'll just say it. Could you imagine if the game is like basically that what was supposed to be that new Silent Hills game? But basically, yeah, it's basically PT except like a full game, and they end up calling it like the actual game like PT or something, but it means something else, not playable teaser. It means something else.
Call it like post-traumatic or something like that.
Yeah, could you imagine that? I mean, I know we're all thinking that, but that would be like, that'd be awesome.
That would actually gonna be awesome. Yeah.
That would break the internet. And if it's a PlayStation exclusive, oh my god.
I think if that was to get announced, even if it was like a 30-second clip with the title, like, people would lose their shit. Because people already lose their shit over PT. Like, you go onto eBay right now, people are selling PlayStation 4s that have PT loaded on it. Like,
oh yeah.
If they made an actual game that was basically what PT was, except a full game, oh my, I couldn't imagine. I think the PlayStation 5 would win this generation.
Just off that.
Just off of that.
Just off that. I literally, I have people, like, I have friends that are like Xbox. They've played Xbox their whole life. And I downloaded PT back in the day when it came, when you could play it. And I remember we used to play it back in college. And, like, those kids that are on Xbox to this day still talk about that game.
Holy shit.
And we literally played it. I mean, we played it, like, multiple nights over and over again. But, like, it was what, like an hour or two of gameplay, if that. But like that teaser was so impactful that people that are like diehard Xbox fans are like, at least of my friends, are still talking about it, which is kind of crazy.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's gonna be at noon your time or East Coast.
It'll be noon his time.
Okay.
And then it'll be what, 11 for me and you? Yeah.
Actually, would it be? Let me see.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the times now. 12 a.m. Oh no, this is 12 a.m. 12 a.m. for New York.
So yeah, right so now? midnight for. Yeah,
so it should hit in like 8 minutes.
It should hit in the next 8 minutes. So.
Yeah. I guess so. We might have a live reaction to it. So.
We might have a live update. I'm gonna have to pull Twitter up right now.
Yeah.
What would be funny? What would be funny is if it's just like new merch. You can buy like new Kojima Productions merch. That would be
hilarious. I just see him trolling people like that, but then the merch being like a new game too. I could see that.
Well, that's why he did the logo, I believe.
What a fucking troll that would be.
Alright, I got it.
Did you see our tweet?
Mike Tuss?
No, I need to watch that. I need to watch that. So did I want to apologize for showing up late. Did I miss any other good topics before we move on?
No, we just talked about the Game Awards, Kojima, and the PS5 Face Plates.
The only like real big topic has been the Game Awards. We just gave our thoughts on it. What got announced, what got won, who won, whatever.
Yeah.
All that.
Do any of the updates for server shutdowns this week?
Since Snickel's here, this is his punishment. He's got to read the server shutdown list.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, I'll keep an eye on Twitter, so...
Yeah, I literally have Twitter pulled up as well. Can I just say about the Game Awards?
Yeah, sure.
One thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Last of Us Part 2, I talked about this when we got it, like when we were talking about this. Like, I'm glad that it won it, right? Okay, I'm gonna be glad for any game that wins it. But I feel like for the Game Awards, it should be like a majority. Like, there's so many people that love that game and so many people that hate that game. And I feel like that's why it's not a good contender for Game of the Year. And that's why Ghost of Tsushima should have won, because I don't know anyone that hates it.
I know... It's also the disparity. So I think he said, Jeff Keighley said, the way they pick the winner is 90% is from judges from multiple game journalist outlets, and 10% is popular vote from the fans or whatever. So you can't just take into account what us, the gamers, are saying. Even though I enjoyed The Last of Us 2 or whatever, and I know Brian had issues with the story, but he still enjoyed The Last of Us 2. You can't just take what Reddit is saying or what Twitter is saying, because what they're saying is not necessarily what the game journalist said, which most of them gave them 10 out of 10s, you know?
Yeah, but like, so this is the problem that I have, and I talked about this with somebody not related to like video games. We were talking about this in relation to like sporting events, because I got into this whole like discussion. Someone was asking if like bowling was a sport, right? And trust me, I'm gonna get somewhere with this. And the conclusion was like bowling is a sport because there are defined points that you can win or that you can score. Therefore, it's a defined sport. Like there's a defined winner at the end of the day. So then we got into this whole discussion, and someone was like, well, is figure skating a sport? Because like you don't really have defined points. You get points, but the points are based off of judges. And even though the judges are supposed to be judging like per like technique or this or that, there's always some sort of subjectivity to it. So therefore, I feel like it's not like, that's not the best way to judge it. And I feel like that's what it comes down to, like for the Game Awards, is like you can have what game journalists are saying, but there's so much subjectivity in that. And the problem with that, there's going to be subjectivity in anything, but the problem with the game journalist is you're pulling from such a small portion compared to the overall player base, where that would like equal out who the true winner or wouldn't be. I just feel like there's so much subjectivity. There always will be, but it's just such a small pool to pull from that sometimes it just seems like it's like, because you could literally have 10 people or 10 game journalists that are voting for The Last of Us Part 2 and or a game, not just Last of Us Part 2, a game, they're voting for that, and then you could have the rest of the community saying this is dog shit, and it's still going to win because that's what the game journalist says. And that's what happens on like Metacritic. Like that's what's happening with, well, I'm sure we didn't talk about it yet, but like that's what's happening with like Cyberpunk right now, is that there's a lot of game journalists saying this is a phenomenal game. Like what's here's a phenomenal game. And everyone playing the game is like, no, the fuck it isn't. Like it is not that.
Yeah, that's something that Brian and I actually talked about. That award shows, like I guess it was mostly me talking about it, but award shows just in general, and even specifically to games, are stupid, and I will never really take it into account for the broader, what's it called? The broader thought of what is the good game of the year or whatever, because of there has always been like a disconnect between the critic and the gamer or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm going back to this example, but God Hand, one of my favorite games, and if you look like on the internet and everywhere, it's a lot of people's favorite games and game. I mean, and the game journals back then gave it a 3 out of 10. That's like not even close to what that game should be. It should be like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I completely agree, and like I feel like part of that like another part of that, and why like the game journalism side shouldn't be so like crucial to deciding these games is, first of all, like when these when the Game Awards was created, right, there probably wasn't as big of an audience as there is now, so it was probably easier for them to just say, hey, what are the critics saying? Their majority counts. We'll still include people just to make them feel like they're inclusive, but like at the end of the day, their shit doesn't matter. But the other side, what was the other side that I was going to get to? Oh, the other side is a lot of these game journalisms, like I said, it's so subjective, and then you end up not saying that this is the case, right? But you have cases of like IGN giving reviews of games where it's memes now where they say, oh, 8 out of 10, too much water. Yeah. Like, how does that even affect the game in that sense? Like, what? And I know it's like a huge meme now, but like, that's where like the game journalism subjectivity, I think, is like the big issue when it comes to deciding like the game of the year, even though it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Mm. It's the thing that's like the big issue when it comes to both like movies, music, and games. These things are all very subjective mediums.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there are like some that are like just utter horse shit, and people will not want to watch that movie or listen to that music or play that game. And it's like, these game awards are nice or whatever because they give your art form or whatever some kind of legitimacy. I say that with quotation marks. But and at the end of the day, what was one of the Animal Crossing was up there. I bought and I played Animal Crossing. It's not like a crazy fucking game or whatever that should be up there with Ghost of Tsushima, Doom Eternal, and The Last of Us 2. I forget, and Hades. And there's like some people who didn't even play any of those games that came out this year, and maybe their favorite game is fucking I can't even think of another game that came out. It's BPM, Bullets Permitted on PC.
We do have an update on Kojima Productions.
Huh?
Yep.
To show our appreciation for the support you all have given us over the years, for the next few hours, we'll be delivering a host of updates that celebrate our 5th anniversary. See you in 1 hour.
Well, we may not be live for that then.
But
I'll be in bed.
It's got like a PDF link to it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Waves. The issue is, and this is like the big issue, is it is all subjective. Like, there's nothing that you can, there's nothing about a piece of artwork, like you said, like a video game, music, any piece of artwork. There's nothing about it that really can be objectively scored. It's all going to be subjectively scored. And I know that that means that you should pull game critics that have credibility, but then you end up like, again, I'll use it as an example, IGN, who's supposed to be a credible game source, a credible reviewer for games, and they're giving points off of a game because it has too much water. Like, what?
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like, I feel like, and it's hard to say put it all in the people's hands, because then you're going to get even more subjectivity. There's going to be people out there that say, I love The Last of Us 2, and they're going to vote for that, and they're going to do anything they can to make sure every other game doesn't win.
There's
so
the issues of
just
bots and stuff like
that. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I think it needs some evolution, but I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be now. And at the end of the day, to be fair, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
People are still going to love the games that they love, no matter if it wins Game of the Year or not.
I think
exactly
the Game Awards are nice because, especially in this year when we didn't have any like E3 or Gamescom or anything like that, the Game Awards were nice for this year. And it's also kind of nice because it's also the only real game event where you see all three companies kind of interacting with each other, rather than our booth is over here, their booth is over there, and all that. But at the end of the day, don't take it too seriously, because one year they gave Overwatch the fucking Game Award, and I think another year they gave fucking, what's it called, PUBG the Game Award for Game of the Year. So
that's why I'm saying, it doesn't even, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. People don't even it's just something that doesn't even matter. It's gonna be next year, you're not even gonna remember it. So it is what it is. I'm looking through here. I didn't even see this this topic when we were talking about, but anticipated games. Yes, please, Elden Ring.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, that was a
yeah, I want Elden Ring already, and that's stuff that they didn't show it off during the Game Awards.
Yeah,
it's
depressing, but
well, now you're fully caught up on what we've been talking about, Snickel.
Yeah.
So now it's my turn to talk about my favorite thing: server shutdowns.
Yeah. Your favorite thing.
My absolute favorite. So again, nothing new from last week. Nothing's been announced. So You have Madden 25, Madden 15, Madden 16 all going down on, they might actually be down already. Yeah, they went down on Monday. They're down, rip. World of Tanks went down on the 15th, which was Tuesday. Battlefield Hardline is going to be, the Test Your Metal trophy is going to be unachievable on December 31st. So if you want to do that, you're going to need people, because I tried to do it and it wasn't easy. Then you have, I don't even know what this game is. You guys ever heard of Hex Card Clash?
Huh?
Yeah.
Not sure what that is, but that's going down on December 31st. So if you're a fan of that, get that done. Also, NBA 2K19 going down on December 31st. And then the biggin being Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition going down on December 31st. That's going to be the one online trophy being the Vendetta missions. So go get that done ASAP. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure, don't take my word here, but I'm not sure if those games, if Middle-earth will go down on the 31st. It may go down after, because the 31st is like New Year's Eve, so they may be on vacation. They may not put it down, but don't take my word.
Yeah, you should still probably do it before that.
Yeah, get it done before then, but if you don't, you may have a slight chance. And then upcoming, I guess the only upcoming one we'll talk about is Battleborn on the 25th of January, but that's, who cares about Battleborn? Let's be honest.
I know, you tried talking us into it like 4 months ago.
I tried to talk everyone into it a year ago because Captain was like super into it. Captain was like, yo, if you can like figure out what to do and all this, like I'll do it. How many people we need? I mean, we literally just got off the Evolve high. So we were like, oh, hell yeah, we can do Battleborn. It's just easy compared to Evolve. And I looked into it and then I was like, nah, I really don't want to do this game. So...
Yeah, I remember you trying to talk me into it.
I would have done it. I mean, I was gonna do it like a year ago, like I said, but I just, at this point, honestly, I can't be bothered to do that when I have 100 other games to do, especially older games on the PS3. So I can't be bothered. Let me just check.
I was gonna say something.
I'm gonna just. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just gonna check the forum post to see if they've been talking about anything else.
Remember how I had that issue with my PS3?
The no store, yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out it's a bug, but the button's still there, but it just doesn't show up. So as long as I like go to information and then push up on the D-pad or the stick and press X, it'll add it to my cart still. Which is so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's strange, but at least you can still like do it, right?
Yeah.
Or get stuff. No, I'm not seeing anything else. Anyone talking about anything else?
Okay.
I mean, people are talking about Frozen Synopsis getting delisted. That's supposed to be a game that's supposed to be shutting down in March, so that could be delisted now. I'm not really sure what that is, but
I think that was a Plus game like a while back, like a few years back.
I'm not sure, but people are talking about it being delisted. So, yeah, there's that.
We'll have the list down below in the description, so you guys can look at it more in detail. But that's our server shutdowns, really.
All right. Then let's move on to our next topic. Should Sony buy Bluepoint Games? Who would you like to start off this one?
You want to start off, Snickel?
Sure. So, should Sony buy Bluepoint Games? Yes.
Yes.
Long story short, yes. Why they should buy them? I think we've talked about, or I think I've at least, talked about it before, but, the structure of Bluepoint, they could structure Bluepoint to be like a very profitable company when it comes to remaking games, because they remake games, they don't remaster, they remake. Remaking old Sony IPs, like it'd be cool to see like, Jack and Daxter or the old Ratchet games get updated to the new engine. Like that would be kind of cool. or even like shooting a long shot here, but like the Infamous games, it'd be cool to see those get like a complete remake. But I'm getting off topic here. The reason why I think that it'd be a good structure is, and I've always talked about it, like Bluepoint can, remake a game while they have another section of Bluepoint, develop a new IP. So they can kind of be working one in one with each other. Half of, or whatever, the developers would be remaking a game, another set of, developers who would be writing a narrative for another game would just work on a narrative while that remake is being done. And then hopefully by the time the remake is done, the narrative for the other game is done. And then the people that were remaking the game can then start working on the new IP with a fully crafted narrative. Because personally, even though I'm a huge fan of game worlds and feeling like immersed in game worlds, I think if you make the narrative first and then build the world around the narrative, you're going to have an overall better game. And I feel like games sometimes do that backwards. So that's my my long answer.
I think with Snickel on this. I think they should buy them, but only if they have them also make a new games. It can either be like sequels to old games or a new IP, because there's only so much these people can remake, especially with Sony IPs. They can remake like PS2 games mostly, and like some PS1 games, and some PS3 games, but eventually they're gonna run out of things to be able to remake. So they gotta be able to make their own game also, which is going to be the biggest hurdle for them.
I think the good thing is that if Sony buys them, like you said, like they're gonna run out of Sony IPs to remake. But the good thing is if that Sony owns them, and they keep remaking games, there's a good possibility that if they have a resume of good remakes, that they could reach out to literally any company that has an IP, an older IP, and they want it updated or a remake. If they have a resume of dozens of games that they've done and they've all done well, I don't think that company would have a problem working with Bluepoint. Even though Bluepoint would be owned by Sony, Sony would be getting the profits. Bluepoint would be the one that's kind of doing the work. They would almost be like a sub to everything that's going on, or like a middleman, which I think would be like good. Like if you think about like, could you imagine a remake of like any of the old GTA games, GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, up to new standards?
Yeah, I think that would work out. I think the only thing that probably would throw a wrench into that is, I'm sure soon we'll get more remake studios, like studios that just remake games.
Yeah,
so
but really, they're the ones who have their head in the ring already and so much behind them.
Was the Mafia 1 remake made in-house or by another studio?
Yeah, it was.
That was made in-house.
In-house by Hangar 13.
So,
but I do think Bluepoint should be bought by Sony. Snickel had my idea, actually. Like, yeah, they run out of games. Man, okay, hey, Microsoft, you want one of your games remade? So much price, Oh, you want Fallout 3. Okay, you guys own the rights to Fallout.
I don't think Microsoft would ever give Sony money.
They have.
Well, the thing is it's not really Microsoft. Like, Microsoft wouldn't, directly...
No, yeah, I get you guys. Like, you can outsource it out to like other studios to make their remakes instead.
Yeah, like Sony should still let Bluepoint like be their own people. Like they should still be their own company. Like it would work like anything else. They can be their own company. Like Sony would clearly own them. All of Blueprint's profit would go to Sony. But like if Bluepoint wanted to work with Microsoft to make a game, that's just good for Sony, because then if they work with Microsoft, the game makes money, Sony makes money. It's like the same way that like Minecraft works on the PlayStation. Microsoft's getting all the profit on Minecraft or a majority of the profit of Minecraft on PlayStation.
Right.
That seems ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is.
And that actually does bring in like good terms, like in the future. Like, hey, we let you one of our developers remake a game for you. How about you throw one of your newer games towards us? Like let it be multi-platform or whatever for a certain time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that works out better for everyone. Like, obviously, competition fuels better things for the consumer.
Right.
But
But you still need good relationships, though.
yeah, you still want to have that. That's one of the things that I love about like when, and I don't really see it from Sony's side too much, but like when Sony like launches something new, a new console, when they launch like VR, anytime that they do like a big thing, like I feel like Microsoft is always like they're saying like, "Hey, good job, guys! Great job, like good job on the launch." I rarely see like Sony do that to Microsoft, which is kind of annoying because I feel like there should be that encouragement of like saying like good job, because like I said, if Sony does it and then Microsoft does it, then there's going to be like competition between them, and the more competition the better. That's why, if you want me to be completely honest, that's why PlayStation Plus is a thing, because Microsoft was doing it first. Sony realized, hey, well, we can do it but maybe a little cheaper, and now they're making bank off of PlayStation Plus.
Right. And
that's a negative to the consumer, by the way, but a positive for Sony. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
You are right, Snickel. I do see Microsoft doing that more when Sony does something, but when the Xbox did launch, Sony did congratulate them and all that. I think they congratulated Nintendo too on the Switch when it first launched. And then you have seen Phil Spencer talk about the DualSense and how he thinks it's good and great for the gaming industry.
I think Microsoft in general has like has more friendly banter, I guess, with all of them.
Yeah.
Sony's still like that corporate
Elitist.
dad, like not wanting to talk to other companies. Yeah, I mean, obviously they do, but like one of the other things was a crossplay. Sony was so adamant against no crossplay.
I
mean, if they lost that war,
I didn't care about that. But
the whole thing with Minecraft, they wanted to be able to play Minecraft with anything, but you needed an Xbox account. Sony was so much against that also. So
they lost that one.
They also lost that one. So I think Sony's less willing to play with other other companies. Yeah. But I think it would be nicer to see Sony play more nicely.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's just so strange. Like I feel like giving that like feedback and everything from like a bigger company is like it's a good gesture, and I personally feel like, to be fair, when the Xbox One rolled around, and like I think Xbox has been doing it since then, which I think is partially because they fumbled, because when they were the top dogs with the 360, you didn't really see that too much. Like they were the top dogs, their shit didn't stink. Like they didn't want to be compared to anyone. They kind of fell off that pedestal with the Xbox One, so now they're kind of trying to like build. I feel like it's almost like kissing ass to an extent, but it does feel genuine, because it's literally every time Sony does something, like Microsoft is there like, hey, great job, like this is a great launch, or like you said, like Phil Spencer saying like the DualSense is a great like step forward for the gaming industry or whatever in technology. So I don't know. I can understand not wanting to mix, but I feel like there's always a positive to it. So you just have to like outweigh if like the positive outweighs the negative, and if the negative outweighs the positive to them, that's why they obviously don't pick it. But like the whole like cross-platform thing, I truly never understood, because you really get stuck in this position where like, instead of us, having fun and playing together, now we have to butt heads with our friends and people that we play with, because if I want to go play with my friends and play Call of Duty and they're all on Xbox, well, now I have to go buy an Xbox. So now I'm supporting Xbox, or I have to make, I have to talk to them and be like, hey, you guys can all buy PlayStations and play with me, and that's not going to work. So I feel like there's like, then you have like internal friction with like not allowing crossplay in some games.
Yeah, and then there's it's interesting. I think Sony is now starting to like crack that hard shell or whatever. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but they got into that agreement with Microsoft last year for the Azure network or whatever it's called. So their PS Now can have better servers and all that. They did eventually like give in to the crossplay thing. Which most of them, I think most of them require you to have like an external account, right? Like an Activision account or an Xbox account or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it works with Rocket League. You have to have, well, it started off you had to have like a Rocket ID, and now it's you just have to have an Epic Game Store account since Epic owns them now. But
and now
I mean,
with Kratos and Master Chief are in the same game now in Fortnite, which is something I'd never thought I'd see. So I think maybe soon we'll see that change more, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, with that being our point, on to the next point. What games would you want Bluepoint Games to remake next?
I mean, obviously, if they're gonna get bought by Sony, I would want them to remake any game that Sony owns, any IP that Sony owns. Okay. Outside of that, if they were to remake any game, I would love to see obviously the older Grand Theft Auto games, because that's kind of what I grew up on when it came to like gaming. Honestly, any Rockstar game, now that I think about it, like Grand Theft Autos, Max Payne's, Bully, Midnight Club. You can throw, didn't they have a dart game in there at some point? Throw that in their pool game, throw that in there, whatever it was, throw that game in there, remake it. No, I'd like to see those. I mentioned it, Midnight Club, that would be like that's been a franchise that's been left in the dust. I would like to see the older Need for Speed games remade. That would be cool. And then the last one that I'll end with, which I think is like the banger of them all, is the Simpsons Hit and Run.
Ooh, no, that'd be cool.
Choice.
Yeah.
I think if they get bought by Sony, and we have to only choose from like Sony IPs, I think one of my favorites is Jack. So I think like just that whole trilogy remade, I guess, would be cool. Back on the PS1, Legend of Dragoon would be cool to get like a Final Fantasy VII remake kind of treatment. Okay. I want to say Ratchet and Clank, but Ratchet and Clank technically already got one.
Yeah, but they could do some other games in the franchise.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
Infamous,
yeah. Also, I don't know. It's like hard for me because like I can get excited around a remake, but I also just kind of like, this is just like the whole argument with the remakes, I guess, is like I'd just rather see like a new game in the franchise instead.
Yeah, but the point of Bluepoint though would be to do the remakes while the actual.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, for me, it's hard for me like to get excited over a remake. Like, I guess like if I had to choose one outside of Sony, it would be the first Devil May Cry with like Devil May Cry 5 mechanics, or like remake Devil May Cry 2 but it's also just one thing I kind of like about Bluepoint Games, like when they make a remake, it's an actual remake down to top. Like, same mechanics, same bullshit that the original game had, all that stuff, and then like right there, I just said like Devil May Cry with like DMC5 mechanics, and then like that game isn't Devil May Cry 1 anymore; it's Devil May Cry 5 in the new place. So I don't know, my brain just starts going to everywhere when I think about remakes. But
you're just on an island, yeah.
But what about you, Brian?
If it's Sony based, I want Infamous 1 and 2, and even Festival of Blood. I would like to see some of the Ratchet Clank games. Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one.
Outside of Sony, Midnight Club, Simpsons Hit and Run, and this is a franchise I used to love growing up. Legacy of Kain series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be cool to come back.
Blood Omen 2, Soul Reaver 2, and I think it was Defiance.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much, and maybe like Bioshock, like the first Bioshock would be kind of cool.
I want the true crime games too.
Ooh.
System Shock's getting a new one, but that would be cool to get remade.
Other than that, and Assassin's Creed.
Oh man.
if they do ever
Prince
like
of Persia games.
if they ever do anything with AC1, like it has to be a remake now. It can't just be like the AC1 from PS3 you just plopped over onto the PS5 now, right?
Yo, listen,
Snickle
everyone
still
listening
play
to
it.
this right now, please go tweet at Ubisoft and put me in the tweet. I'm gonna help to get this done. We need AC1 on the PlayStation 5, okay? We need it. It's the only Assassin's Creed game we don't have, other than the ones on like Bloodlines and you know we forget about those. The mobile games we forget about those. Okay.
It's funny to me that like literally all like
They
the
don't
main
exist.
line like fucking Assassin's Creed games are on everything except for the first one.
I mean, to be fair,
doesn't
if
exist.
you did play it nowadays, it would be an awful game. They would have to remake it and restructure the missions somehow, because that game is like 80% tailing, which everyone fucking hates now. So
I remember at AC1 when I first played it, I thought my game was broken because you know when you would beat like the boss of whatever area, then you'd leave it and then like you beat the other two bosses of that sequence or whatever. And then you come back to that area. I didn't know that to open the next area you had to go on a building and then do a viewpoint, and then that'll like open up that new area because the game never told me to. So
I
I
just
thought
you were like infinitely locked in the same area.
yeah, I was like, is my game broken? And I thought the game was broken, so I returned it to GameStop like 3 times. I was like 8 years old or some shit.
He said this shit is broken, bro. I need a new one. Wait, now that you're saying that, that reminds me of something. So, again, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla all this week. So yesterday, I got to Jotunheim. Like that's another map is Jotunheim, another like section or whatever. So anyway, I'm playing through Jotunheim, and in Jotunheim you have to collect Ymir's blood crystals or something like that. That's like the collectible you have to get. And I have like the collectible tagged, and I'm running around and I'm clicking the Odin's view or whatever to like figure out where shit is. And I'm like, yo, that one's fucking like it's floating in the air up there. Like the thing is just up in the air. Like what's going on? So what I realized is when you go to Jotunheim, you literally have to walk through these little like antler pillar things, and it changes the world. And there's like different shit in the world when you walk through them. And I was like, please, there was like, I don't know, maybe like 24 that I had to collect. I was like, please don't tell me every single one is going to be like this, where I have to find this little baby ass gate to walk through for it to spawn. Because then when I walked through the gate, it ended up being like on a ship that like beached, and that's why it was up in the air.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was. Jotunheim got crazy, but it's done now, so that's nice.
Nice.
For me, I'm in Valhalla, not Valhalla. Oh yeah, I'm in Valhalla now.
Oh, you're in Valhalla? Nice.
Yeah.
I want to go there soon.
And I'm like having weird issues with the AC Valhalla.
What?
So is Waves ahead of you, Snickel?
Maybe story wise, like exploring wise,
like,
I'm like done the map.
It's like technically a side story. I don't know. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
like it said Valhalla, wherever the Aesir or whatever their names, wherever Thor is, that's where it is. It said like that arc started, but I also had East Anglia arc started.
Asgard,
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm in Asgard. But I'm also like underleveled. I'm like 50 something. I just started East Anglia's arc. But I'm having like weird issues, like mostly save issues.
like autosave.
Yeah, like I started to do the manual saves now because like the autosaves were like corrupting, and like I was getting sent back like 2 hours or an hour.
When you go in, try to I guess you could try like updating your save to the cloud and then deleting it and re-downloading it. But when you're in the game, press like down on the D-pad and then I think you press square, and you can do like a manual autosave.
Oh really?
And just try to like overwrite your autosave and see if it fixes it.
Alright, I'll try that. I've been having
Dude, the story in that game, then like AC Valhalla is so fucking weird right now. Like, I've not done much of it, but it's literally side missions is like the game.
Where are you, like, in the story?
So I've explored everything except the second half of what's the first map you're in?
Grant
The
Bridge?
no, the very like where you start, like where you do the prologue.
Oh, Norway.
Norway. Yeah. I have to do like the second half in Norway because I was under leveled when I started the game, and then I think I still have to do Vineland. I haven't gotten there yet, but I still have to do that. But I basically like explored the whole like base map, and I just have to do the side. I have to do the side quests, but they're actually like the main quests. I have a feeling that the way the story is going to work out is you're going to do all these side quests for people, and then you're going to have one big quest that's going to require all of them to come together at one time.
It's weird because like I don't know which arc you started with, but I started with the Grant Bridge Shire arc.
Yep, that's what I started with.
And then I went up to what's it called, Lincolnshire or whatever. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's a few that you don't get trophies for. But you need them because they provide like camp upgrades and like materials. So you have to do all of them, but they all don't give you trophies. The ones that I've done that I have trophies for are Grantbridgeshire, which that one was fucking weird because you help someone take a town back, and then the lady was like, one of these three people has betrayed me, figure out which one it is. Then you got to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't even matter because you can just pick whoever. Like, it honestly doesn't matter. And then I did London and I did East Anglia.
Right now I'm in East Anglia. East Anglia, I think it's
Anglia, yeah. That's the one. That's the one with like the young king, right?
I don't know. Like I just started it like a few days ago. But I don't know. The story structure is weird. I like started the Asgard arc just out of nowhere. I wasn't even thinking about it. I had to see her come to the village, and then she told me to pick up these plants. So then I picked them up, and then I took them back to her, drank it, and then for some reason that sent me to Asgard. And then there was like Asgardian arc started. I was like, okay.
Yeah, she provides the Asgard potion, and then eventually she'll provide the Jotunheim potion. She provides the potion like when you build her hut, basically. But when you're in Asgard, you can teleport out at any time. You don't have to do it right then and there.
It's kind of cool because like it kind of every single time I'm not gonna replay the game, but if you like ever decide to replay the game, there's like different stuff you can do. But it's just kind of like the story narrative just kind of feels weird. And
it feels like a bunch of side missions.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And then I don't know. This is probably just me, but I'm getting like so burnt out on that game. There's just so much crap to do on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way, but then like, I mean, it was like when I was playing Odyssey and Origins, like I was the same way, but it eventually got to a point where I was like, holy shit, like I'm actually about to be done like exploring this map. Like, I'm just gonna power through, because that was the worst part. I mean, the worst part is like literally going around the map, even though you're not going around and like having to do like your little check marks at every single like camp like you had to do in Odyssey and Origins. You still have to go to every single orb that's around the map, like the bigger orbs that are around the map, the big like white, light blue and gold ones. But even like going to those, it can feel like a dread, because like each area is gonna have like, well, like 36 things you have to do. Like, it's ridiculous how many things you have to do in each area, and some of them are stupid, man. Like some of the side quests, you walk up and you're done in 2 seconds. Like it provides nothing to the game.
Yeah, there's like, I had to do one where it was just like, I have to get an eel for a guy. So I just shot an eel in the fucking river, and then that was the end of it.
Yeah, there's a majority of them are really stupid. Like, it's cool that they're there. It makes it feel like it's a world, but like it literally provides nothing other than that. And they're supposed to be side quests, which is like so weird.
The side quests in that game remind me of like the random events that can happen in Red Dead 2. Like the guy who like gets killed by his fucking horse or whatever.
Yeah, and to be fair, like some of them are like really good, and the thing that I like about them, but I also don't like it sometimes, is they don't really provide direction. Like you have to listen to the conversation or read a note that's next to the guy in order to figure out what you have to do for the side quest. So it doesn't like walk you through exactly what you have to do, which can be annoying because if it doesn't provide the right direction, you're walking around with your thumb up your ass and you don't know what you're supposed to do. But some of them are stupid. Like I did one yesterday where like I walked up to this group of kids and they were literally like, we can't figure out where we want to play. Do we want to play in the woods or on in the river? And then like they voted and then they were like, oh, we're a tie right now. Hey, tall person, can you help us? And then you have to vote. And then they ask like, we want to be named this or this. And then it's a tie again. And then you got to vote. And then they ask another question and you got to vote. And it's just like, what this literally is providing nothing to the game right now. Like, other than me wasting 3 minutes.
I played one that was what was it like? It was like so dumb. Oh yeah, it was like one where it was like a nudist colony or some shit like that.
And, this shit was retarded. You had to steal their clothes.
Yeah,
and
I thought I had to destroy the clothes, so I just threw it in the river. And then I went
did
back
the same
to
exact thing because that's what the guy said when you started it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so then I went back to him, but nothing would happen. And you can like soft lock yourself out of it. I had to reload an old save.
Yeah, I walked up the hill, the guy's disappeared, and then I'm walking around a little bit with these clothes in my hand. Next thing I know, he's in a camp like 50 meters down the hill. Well, how the fuck did you even get there, my dude? Like, where was this in your instructions? Hey, go down there. I don't like nudists. That's like what he says. I don't like this nudist colony. F them. Oh, how am I supposed to know that means steal their clothes, go down there, figure out where their clothes are, steal their clothes, and then run away and give them back to you? Like, what? Don't get me wrong. There are some good ones. There are some extremely funny ones, like the guy with the axe in his head. That made me laugh. Like, that was hilarious. But then there's stupid ones where they're like, there's like, you go up to this house and it's on fire and these people are arguing and then they're like, oh, we left our ring inside because we wanted to practice being firefighters or whatever. And then they're just out there arguing and you have to go into the house, get the ring, give it back to like, it's just, some of them feel very pointless. But I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
Well, that was a random Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a normal day without that happening with me, right?
It's our patented Rogue Hunters Assassin's Creed Valhalla thoughts topic.
You can blame me, it's okay.
Did y'all hear about EA buying Codemasters?
You were telling me about it, Waves, actually.
Yeah, I was reading about that the other day, and
this actually started all weird.
Billion?
Like, I think it was at first it was Take-Two or 2K was buying them. One of those two.
It's probably Take-Two, yeah, because they own 2K.
Oh yeah, then I guess Take-Two. And then they were like finalizing it, and then EA just out of nowhere just dropped a fat load of cash right in front of Codemasters, basically, and then they got bought by Codemasters.
You know where that cash came from?
From Star Wars Squadrons, baby.
Microtransactions.
That came from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 microtransactions.
Those were all the donations given to them.
I know.
By the Greek fans of EA.
So,
I know Snickel is a big...
I don't know about you guys, right? But I'm torn between this.
Yeah, this was mostly for you, because I know you're the big Codemasters guy around here. Mm-hmm. I tried playing an F1 game, and then you called me an anchor. But I know you be liking them F1 games and those dirt rally.
He's not lying, people.
When we getting back to it, Waves? When we getting back to it?
No, you said Josh was gonna do it with you.
No, I need my anchor back.
I gotta buy the game.
I gotta roll it. I gotta roll it up. It's at the bottom of the ocean right now, but I'm rolling up to the deck. No, I mean I'm torn because I love, like you said, Waves. Like I love Codemasters. I love all the games. I think Codemasters has one of the absolute worst customer service when it comes down to it. Like the worst. But They make some of the best racing games, which is like amazing. And I'm just torn because I don't want them to be owned by anybody. Like I want them to be their own entity, but I don't know. But the reason I'm happy, and the reason I'm happy EA bought them, is because the recent Need for Speed games have been dog shit because of one reason, and that's the driving physics in the game. I don't know how you can have a racing game and your physics are dog shit. That's the point of your game. You can't do anything else in Need for Speed but drive. How are your driving physics awful? So hopefully they can learn something from Codemasters, because Codemasters like driving physics in all their games is phenomenal. So I don't know.
I was actually happy for the same reasons as Snickel. I was hoping that we would actually get a good Need for Speed and maybe a Burnout. Who knows?
That would be nice.
Exactly. Yeah, but that money came from microtransactions. We all know it. I'm brave enough to say it because, and Codemasters customer support will match EA's PR. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It hurts, but it's good at the same time. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard to be excited for anyone getting bought by EA, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think about it and like, yeah, I mean, overall Take-Two is the better company, even though they have 2K Sports. They do own like Rockstar and everything. So, I mean, overall, I think Take-Two is a better company for them from like a PR standpoint. But I think that they can provide more for EA if EA is willing to work with them
and use them. Yeah,
I think,
and use some of their assets and their skills.
I think the one thing you won't have to worry when it comes to, since EA bought them, is that with the exception of Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, and Battlefield games, every EA game kind of works when it comes out. So it's not going to be like 2K whatever, where the fucking you can't connect to the server, so now your game won't open, or some weird shit or all that.
Yeah, or you could have the Mafia 3 issue that's going on right now. Have you guys heard about this one?
Oh yeah, you gotta get all the trophies in one go.
Whatever trophy you're going for in Mafia 3, you have to get it in the same, like, you can't turn your PlayStation off. You have to literally get it in that sitting. So yeah, like, they royally fuck that game. But on the note of EA buying Codemasters and EA wanting to do remasters, can we get some remasters of some Codemaster games? And I'm gonna list a few off for you here right now, and I'll leave the slapper for last because Waves is gonna love it. But can we get a Fuel remaster? Can we get any of the Operation Flashpoint games remastered? Can we get a Dirt 2 remaster? Any of the Dirt games, Dirt 2, Dirt 3. Can we get a Damnation remaster? And then this one's for Waves, because I know he's itching for me to say this. Can we get a Leisure Suit Larry box office bust remaster?
Hell yes.
Wait, they made that game?
Codemasters, I think they published it. Yeah, they published it.
I did not actually know.
I didn't know that.
I thought you were gonna say F1 2014.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I'm down. I mean, really, like any of the F1. The problem is like they make a new F1 game every year, so like nothing's like they're updating it every year. So there's like some nostalgia to play in the old ones, but like the old Dirt games, like Dirt 2, I think is like one of my favorite Dirt games, and like it's not comparable to any of the new Dirt games. And like Fuel, I don't know if you guys know this, but Fuel has like one of the biggest maps in any game ever.
Really?
So yeah, that would be a cool game to get remastered. Okay. Let me look this up. Fuel map size. So Fuel's map size is 14,400 square kilometers.
But we're never gonna get
for comparison, let me look up Red Dead Redemption 2 map size.
We're not gonna get the Leisure Suit Larry one, because apparently the new IP holder of that is Replay Games.
The game I would like to remaster would be Clive Barker's Jericho.
Wait, did they make that?
Yeah.
I'm learning new things today.
Same here, right?
So let me put this fuel map into perspective for you. You guys know how big Red Dead Redemption 2's map was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Red Dead Redemption 2's map is 29 square miles, which is approximately 75 square kilometers. Fuel is 14,400 square kilometers.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's too many.
Yeah.
I'm about to look up like the size of the United States.
It's a learning lesson today, people.
Hell yeah, we're learning.
We'll just education. Call this the Codemasters episode.
Oh, that's not even comparable.
Depth Jam game. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I want Depth Jam Fight from New York remake.
I want Ashes Cricket 2009.
I want the Lord of the Rings online.
Yo, stop. No, but I mean, the way I look at it, like I said, like I think, again, I would love EA to, or I would love Codemasters to be their own entity, but if Take-Two or EA was to buy them, I'm happier that EA is buying them, and that's strictly for the fact of I hope that they use Codemasters' knowledge when it comes to any new Need for Speed game.
Agreed.
Because ever since Need for Speed 2015, their games, from a physics standpoint, have been absolute dog shit. So I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
I agree with you, Snickel. 100%. You got anything to add to that, Waves?
I don't play racing games, so...
Okay, let's move on to our final topic, and this is going to be Wave's favorite topic of the night. Cyberpunk reviews. Oh, and the shit show of this fucking launch.
Let me look at what it's sitting at on PS4. Since
I'm looking at Metacritic.
Well, while Waves looks that up, let's just get how bad CD Projekt Red handled this. They put out a note, was it yesterday, saying how they're sorry how they didn't show off the console versions, how badly it ran, and that they're going to get refunds. Well, apparently you can't even get a refund from Sony or Microsoft because you downloaded the game or did whatever. CD Projekt Red never actually talked to these companies about refunds. So that's another shit show.
Yeah, I mean, after... So, again, everyone playing it, it's been subjective, and people can... certain people can look past a few of the errors that the game has performance-wise and enjoy it. It's kind of hard to say that when your game is crashing all the time, but it is what it is. But I think the big thing to come out of everything that's happened is that CD Projekt Red has actually acknowledged everything that's going on, and they've acknowledged that they did the wrong thing, and that's good that they've acknowledged it, but they should have never did the wrong thing in the first place.
I honestly didn't expect people to backlash, because every game will come out with bugs. It doesn't matter what game it is. But I've seen this running on a base PS4. I didn't buy it. My cousin bought it, and I saw him play it. It's literally unplayable. Like, I know people say use literally as like not actually what's happening. That game, you cannot play it on a base PS4. Your inputs are so delayed.
I heard like driving's impossible.
I tried driving in it, and I killed, like, I wasn't even trying to aim to kill people, like just run into them. I just pushed the stick a little bit to the left, and the game like registered it as me pushing it a bunch because the game was 15 frames behind.
Oh my god!
And it's literally like you cannot play this on a base PS4. I haven't tried it on a Pro. And this is kind of the reason why I haven't been playing a lot of games recently. I've been letting my cousin play it on the 5. Which, on the 5, it runs fine. And besides all the visual glitches, it's alright. But there are still, like, game-breaking bugs. We tried to finish this. It was a main mission in the game. He was playing it last night. If you drop the body on the floor, didn't matter where on the floor, the body would disappear, and now you can't finish the mission.
Oh, jeez.
So we had to roll back a save. There was a issue where you have to talk to this one girl to get this one mission to start going. The option for starting the mission would not come up. It would only be like side options, but the game would tell you to keep going there. And we were there for like an hour trying to get it to work until we decided just to roll back a save from 2 hours ago, I think it was.
Oh, jeez.
Then there was part of the game where I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but someone dies. In that cutscene, their body did not load in. So while your character's crying about this person being dead, there's no body there. So just all the emotional weight in that scene is just gone. Textures do not load in, like, at all sometimes. We had an issue last night where there's this weapon, the mantis hands. It's the swords that come out of your hands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those would not go away. So, like, usually in cutscenes, they'd be turned off, or when you just unequip them, they'll just go away. They won't go away. That's the issue we're having right now. Where it like affects it in a way where if he tries to use a pistol, he can't see through that pistol anymore because there's a big ass knife in his way.
Jesus.
There's like it affects a machine gun, an assault rifle. I mean, because you can't see through the optics. There's just so many issues, and like this is like unacceptable how bad it is. And you know it's bad when like IGN gives you a 4 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
Like that is the most like shill studio out there. Not studio, shill reviewer out there. And then there's the issue where they knowingly hid gameplay of like consoles reviews and PC reviews. I think no one even got an actual like console review code or whatever.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that I was gonna hit on like two major points that they really fucked up with before it came out. So first of all, like they knew what the console, like they knew what it was gonna run like on a PlayStation 4, and for them to release it that way is like unacceptable, and for people to defend that in any way, shape, or form is unexcusable. Like you cannot defend that, and you can use the excuse all you want to. Well, you could just play it on a PS5, blah blah blah. People don't have PlayStation 5. People, sadly, there are people out there that can only afford a base PlayStation 4 barely,
and that's
the
a
fact
shit that's a shit like thing to say, because the game was advertised to be played on a PS4, and the PS4 Pro.
It was released on a PlayStation 4. Like if it was to be played on the PlayStation 5 and only the PlayStation 5, it would have been released on the PlayStation 5. Wow, that's almost like rocket science that I just solved right there. It was meant to be played on the PlayStation 4. Like that was the whole purpose of it. But what was shady is when they sent copies out to play the game, first of all, they only sent PC copies out. There was no console copies, review copies sent early out at all. It was only PC. So that's what people were making their reviews off of. All of these companies were making reviews off of their PC reviews so they could get it out day one and be done with it. And there was also a bunch of stuff going around where literally nobody could talk about any of the gameplay or show any gameplay before the embargo, which makes sense. That's what the embargo is. But the fact that there was no console releases put out before as well is also like a big no-no. So
to add to your point too, Snickel, the last time this game got delayed, it was to work on the console versions. So you're telling me this game looked worse a couple weeks ago than what it came out as now?
the sad thing about that is that could be false. It could have been running fine, and they fucked one little thing up, and it
they put
ruined
it
it.
over one should be.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, even though again a huge meme, like there was something going around when Aliens Colonial Marines came out, and Waves can talk about this one. Wasn't there like one piece of code that fucked the whole game up? The whole alien AI was like one little string of code.
Yeah, it got fucked up because they forgot a semicolon, which is usually the end of a statement in code.
Right. Yeah, it's the same for programming and machining. So
yeah, but like something like that could be what's causing all of this for Cyberpunk. I mean, maybe not that simple, but like it could have been running perfectly fine months ago. I mean, when was the game originally supposed to release? It was like
I think it was last
August?
year. No,
it wasn't it like last fall
I think so.
or summer?
Yeah.
And then it got pushed back to like May to summer. I think summer actually, and then it got pushed back to September, and then it got pushed back to December.
I mean, it could have been running fine when they were going to release it originally, and they were like, "Nah, we want to tweak this or we want to tweak that." And when they tweaked it, it made other things look better, but it fucked other things up. And then they kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until, well, we have what we have now.
And it's just like we've said, it's unacceptable how bad the PS4 version is, and like it's not even just those things. Like it's also crashing. Like
yep,
that's not even a thing the PS5 can fix. Like last night alone, of 3 hours of playing, the game crashed 5 times, and that's on a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people are expecting PC levels of graphics. I don't think people are expecting like ray tracing on a fucking PS4 or whatever. I think people are expecting to get like at least a functional playable game where they were sold on this world of like this 80s retro futurism, like idyllic world or whatever. What they have right now is just not. This is what PS4 owners basically bought early access into a video game, is what I like to say.
I would say it's even earlier than that. Mm-hmm. I mean, the game is not even playable. It's physically not playable.
Like, if the game was ready to come out on console, then don't put it on console. They could have just released the PC version, just put out, hey, we need more time for the console. Give us some more time. I would understand it. I would respect them for it. But people are like, oh, you gotta forgive them and all that. But then you gotta see Project Red. Hey, well, just give us some time or give us a chance. You had your chance. You blew that chance. You released this game broken as shit, and you think nobody would notice, and you're trying to hide it from people. That's not okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, there would have been no problem at all if back when they started all of their delays, because this is, I don't know about you guys, but this is what I hate the most, is when a game comes out and they put a delay out. That's fine, right? You need a little bit more time to do the game, fine. But then that release is coming around and we get another delay. we get another delay and another one and another one, and it just keeps going. What I don't understand is if you can't meet the deadline, let's say you put a delay out for 2 months, right? You get to your final due date for your 2 months and you realize, well, shit, we're not ready yet. I think a lot of people would be a lot more understanding if you just put a statement out and you're like, we are indefinitely delaying this game to fix, to finish development, not fix it. Don't make it sound bad. To finish the development, we want to put out a good game, and then, let the game just like simmer down and then build the hype back up when it's actually playable. Like that, I think if they just had delayed the game indefinitely, fixed all this, and put it out next year, an actual playable game, it would have been so much better. It already had the hype built up around it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't losing the hype. They already had that.
A good example of that, Halo Infinite. Look how it looked in the Xbox showcase. People bitch about. What did Microsoft do? They delayed it, and they're working on it,
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Everybody's okay with that. Yeah, it got shit on for a couple of days, but I understand it. Like, I understand when a game comes out, yeah, there's going to be some raw patches and all that, and I'm okay with that, but it should not be to this extent.
No. And no, and like kind of like a joking statement, because I know this was like a big thing back when the PS4 came out, but do you guys remember when like Watch Dogs they put all the shit out for Watch Dogs, and that was a big thing, and then it came out and it was just downgraded to hell? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
But guess what? Watch Dogs was a playable game.
Mm-hmm.
If they just downgraded Cyberpunk, and then because Watch Dogs on the PS4 I think it looks okay on the PS4. It's not the best looking game, but it looks pretty good.
Right.
As long as your game is playable on the PlayStation 4, do what you want on the PlayStation 5. Like, you gotta put at least a playable game out.
Yeah, and that's playable in the sense of like no pop-ins, no like weird texture bugs, no like make crashing. The game make no crashing, no, don't make the game run over 15 FPS. Like, a game is unplayable. You're playing a slideshow at 15 FPS. It's crazy. I cannot believe they thought that this was a good way to launch the PS4 version, and also with Xbox. Like CD. I like, we talked about this before, and I got kind of like attacked on Twitter for it a little bit, but CDPR had like the most like fanboyish like fandoms around it for any game developer that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. And
I never thought I'd see that just go away in like an instant, and CD Projekt Red has lost that. Like, I don't think they'll ever get it back anytime soon. There are still like the diehard fans, but like, that being said, though, don't be sending people death threats either.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no. That's not cool.
But
yeah, I do think, and that's why I'm saying, if they had just delayed the game indefinitely, they would have been fine. It's not like they were on a yearly release. It's not like they were forced to put the game out at a certain time. Like, obviously they want to put it out at the new console generation, but you're not even releasing it for the new console. So what the fuck does it matter anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could have delayed it indefinitely, fixed everything, and even if they put a game out that was, maybe it looked half decent on the PlayStation 4, at least it played, and it was everything that everyone wants it to be on the PlayStation 5. That is like way more acceptable than like what happened. And like you said, Waves, like, I think that fanboy fan base that they had is slowly like falling down, and sadly, once it falls, there's no putting it back up, because, well, there is putting it back up, but it's going to take a lot of things. It's not going to take one good game like The Witcher 3 to come back around and build it back up. It's going to take a lot of effort.
And their fucking stock dropped.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Big ass drop.
And that might, honestly, since they're a publicly traded company, that may be a reason why the game was put out the way it was. Shareholders could have been like, no, we need, like, we're tired. Like, you got to just put it out. So, I mean, CD Projekt Red may not be 100% to blame for it, since they do have shareholders, but
I think
they should have some gonads to stand up to their shareholders.
Yeah, it's the fall of higher ups and shareholders, especially the CEO saying stuff like, "Oh, it's surprisingly very playable on the PS4" and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was lying out of his ass when he said that one.
We'll see if this game's even better after February. Let the devs get a break. You know, they're going on holiday. Understandable.
Yeah.
You know, your family comes first before anything.
It's just it's ridiculous. Like, this game is just everything surrounding this game is just ridiculous. And I want to say this as I'm saying this as a person that was excited for it and then started seeing more gameplay of it and then started losing faith in it. But it's bad. It's bad. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I sadly I could see them putting this game on sale to help recoup their fucking losses.
They haven't had any loss on this game. They recouped their losses immediately.
Jeez.
But I guess the good thing is, well, I was gonna say they're handing out refunds, but depends on where you bought it.
They're having trouble with that too.
It's a tough situation. It's unacceptable how it got delayed. It's not delayed. It's unacceptable how it released. I would rather it got delayed 2 more months. If that's what they're saying, is the amount of time they needed for it to be fixed.
Right.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say one thing I would like to add. I think it was funny though, and a lot of people said this too. You know all their cards that said, like we're delaying the game, how it's all yellow and Cyberpunk color. Everybody, when he put up the notice telling everybody we're sorry, the whole big letter, everybody's like, "Oh man, the game's getting delayed again." Oh wait, never mind, it's already out.
It was always a state. There was always an excuse, or there was always that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have just came out and just like literally provided like no information or like minimal information at the beginning and just been like, yeah, like we need a lot more time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's inexcusable that like they had to have played it on a PlayStation 4.
Right.
You're gonna tell me they played it and said, yeah, this is exactly what we want. This represents us. This is exactly what we want. I don't believe that.
What's crazy is that it must have gone through multiple companies. QA?
Oh yeah.
It must have gone. Well, first it must have gone through CDPR and their QA. You had to go through ESRB through its certification. It had to go through Sony certification, and it had to go through Microsoft certification. And I think the certification for those two, I think they weren't going to give it to them because of how badly it was at first. And then they said, oh, the day one update's going to fix it. And then it turned out not to fix it. And
wasn't like the first update like 18 gigs?
I think so. Something like that.
Oh, jeez.
That's
a big boy.
Like I said before, don't buy this on PS4.
No.
I'll wait for the PS5. If you have a PS5, or if you end up getting a PS5 for like Christmas or whatever, just wait until the PS5 version, please.
Well, you have to buy it on the PS4, but don't play it on the PS4.
You don't have to buy it on PS4.
But I'd rather just buy the PS5 version when it comes out.
The PS5 version is going to come out eventually.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. But if you want to play it right now,
don't even play it on the PS5. Like, there's still game-breaking bugs and game crashes. Like, in 5 hours, in 3 hours, I've crashed 5 times. One of those times making one of the saves corrupt. But
jeez, that's insane.
But yeah, it's kind of sad because I never wish ill will against a studio, especially with overwork, like crunched to hell. employees like CDPR employees are. And this is obviously not what they wanted to release, and I'm sure, like Snickel said, it had to be shareholders and higher ups in the studios. It just kind of sucks for them. I feel more bad for the developers that worked on the game day in and day out more than the actual like shareholders in them.
Well, that's why I think like they would have been better off doing the whole like get the engine working, get the game working, and we'll work on the narrative. Like that's why I just think like that whole process, I feel like there's something like, obviously there's the whole crunch thing that's always happening, but like there's what side of it was crunching, because clearly the narrative side of it wasn't crunching. So like, why couldn't they? Well, there should have been some, and I do think that this happens a lot of the times. Like, where is the management of getting this shit done? Like, I understand crunch. Everyone goes through crunch, but you have so much time. They had so much time to work on this game. Yeah. So much time. And you're going to tell me that out of all the time, I mean, when was it talked about? 2013?
That's when it got announced, but I think it's safe to assume that it didn't really go into full production until like 2016, 2017.
Which, yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. They have to work on some other things. But even if you're going in at the latest 2017, you're talking almost 4 whole years that you're working on a game. And you're going to tell me that out of all of that time, if you had just gotten 2 more months, it would have fixed everything? Like, where was that? Where was it up front? Which I just think that comes down to like bad management. Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with like bad developers. Like, that's truly bad management or bad leadership.
I know, like,
maybe not management, but leadership.
I know sometimes a small delay, even like a week, it can save a game. I know, The Last of Us 1, when it first came out on PS3. A lot of people don't remember, but it actually got like delayed a week, and apparently, if it didn't get that delay, the game would have released with game-breaking bugs and stuff like that.
God of War 2018, that got delayed for 2 weeks because they had so many bugs.
Yeah, and I don't think there's people who always will have issues with the delays. But also your first impression of your game says a lot. Like, it can either make or break your game. There's only like a few games where I can think about where later updates saved it, like FF14 and No Man's Sky and Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about this game is people are talking about it like that, like with those games, but I think like the difference between those games and Cyberpunk is a single player game meant to be played through I guess more for like the normal people. You'll play it one time through and then you're probably not going to touch it again. But so like being told like, oh, we're gonna put this update out and all that, because like let's state the fact that like most of the people buying this game are not trophy hunters and not like diehard fans. Most of them is normal people buying it.
Yeah, and just to play it a few times.
Yeah, it's I don't think that's gonna save them like with this game, like a lot of people are saying it's going to. I wonder if they'll give like the first expansion for free or whatever. You remember how Assassin's Creed Unity did that?
Yeah.
With its shitty launch at first. I'm curious to see that.
They probably will. We'll see.
This is the thing though. I just like, I do get that like a week can save a game and like 2 months could save a game. It really depends. Obviously, it depends on like what the issue is. Like, how deep does the issue actually go? But I don't know, man. Like, I can't see this. I don't know if I can see this being like fixable, even if they give away free DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to fix everything? I don't know. And the other thing you have to look at is, like, if they give away DLC, like, you know, obviously they're publicly traded, so every decision that they take from a monetary standpoint has to get approved by shareholders. And if shareholders are greedy and they say, nah, fuck it, like, we want our money, like, you may not be getting anything for free. Like, CD Projekt Red could be the best developer, but if their shareholders are absolute garbage, then they are garbage.
Yeah.
And who's not saying that DLC is going to come out broken as hell too?
The PS5 version might come out broken as hell too. Yeah. This whole situation. I don't want to say I called it, but I called it. I think we all called it, really.
Yeah. It was overhyped for.
Especially with those first few reviews running through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I had been saying it really ever since they started getting like really serious about it, maybe like a year ago or whatever. Like that it's just overhyped. Like, and the reason that it was overhyped was not because like CD Projekt Red was doing anything wrong. Like, they're just trying to market their game, but the problem was that I saw was that the game was trying to offer way, way, way too much.
Yeah.
And if you're able to offer this game with this grade of whatever and whatever, whenever, you know, why isn't that already a thing that's already out by, you know, big AAA companies? Because it's not a thing that you can do, clearly. And you just went to prove the point. Like, I just think I had been saying that from like the beginning, that like it's not, I don't want it to flop, but like that's what happens. And like that's what and Cyberpunk isn't a sequel to The Witcher, but I've always said this, like, dealing with sequels or dealing with like the next hype thing, like that is the hardest thing because they have such high standards to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't meet them, they are screwed. And it's not like their fault. Like, The Witcher 3 was a great game. It has like a great, you know, fan base. Like, it has diehard fans, and these fans have trickled into not only loving the game but loving CD Projekt Red, which I think is where the issue comes into play. And I know somebody, I don't know. Did you see the comparison? There's a comparison going on in a I was actually reading through the replies in the
Is it the not Naughty Dog, the Sucker Punch one?
No, I was reading through the replies in CD Projekt Red's like apology that they put out yesterday or whatever. And one of the discussions that went on was like, I thought it was valid to an extent, and the guy was basically saying like CD Projekt Red is like what has happened here is like the epitome of like how Game of Thrones ended. And it's not like we're talking from like a narrative standpoint. We kind of are, but like the Witcher 3 games, you know, they had substance behind them because they came from something else, right? CD Projekt Red had to create the world and everything in the actual game, but it had substance. So they really didn't do too much when it came to like the narrative, so they could go all in on creating the actual game. Even though it came out, it was still buggy. It took, you know, years to get it perfected. But like Cyberpunk is such a bigger thing because they're not working from any material. They're literally creating this game from nothing.
No, they are. There's like books, and it's like a board game RPG from like the 80s, and there's like books and a whole like universe around it.
But is there like a narrative like there was with
Johnny Silverhand,
like The Witcher,
was like the main character before.
Okay, so then it's not even a comparable, like that's not even comparable then, because it's just either way it's like it's inexcusable either way.
No, yeah, it's inexcusable, and everything just surrounding this game right now is it's funny because I guess this is going back to like the last podcast, but just comparing it to not even just The Last of Us 2 at this point, like just any game. This game has done everything that us like quote unquote gamers don't like. Like mandatory crunch, there was misleading trailers, overhypeness, what's the other thing? And but yeah, I can't remember the other thing. But there's still like a lot of people like being like, "Oh, they said sorry, it's okay." Like, no, like you can't just be like, "Oh, they said some guy stabbed me, but they said sorry, so I guess it's fine." And
it's okay. We'll move on from here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's okay. This guy just robbed me of $1 million, but it's okay. I forgive him. Like,
I think this goes to show,
that's severe, but
yeah, but I think this goes to show like, don't stop. Like what I said last time, stop putting these studios on a pedestal. You know.
Right.
I saw now they're doing that with Sucker Punch and Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm not gonna say Sucker Punch is a shitty studio so far. I've liked every game they've put out. But that's not to say that Sucker Punch will always put out a fucking banger whenever they make a game. Like, I liked Second Son, but you don't see anyone talking about Second Son ever, or First Light. There's a reason for that, because it wasn't memorable. There was, like with me with Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 4 was like not the best game because they didn't finish it, and so for like the longest time I just didn't think they could make a good Devil May Cry game again. But I don't want to beat this dead horse, but
no, I mean, I agree. Like, at the end of the day, the developers shouldn't be put on a pedestal, especially if it comes to a new IP or a whole new game. Like, like you said, like Sucker Punch made so many good games, and you know, I don't think they've ever made a bad game, but they weren't on a pedestal when like Ghost of Tsushima came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, people were just like, "Oh, Sucker Punch is making it. Like, they're a good studio. They're making it. This will probably be a good game. They've made all good." It's just like when you put like a company on such like an elite pedestal, it's hard for them too. Like, they're living up to so much, and if they fail, like that's everything for them. Should CD Projekt Red have failed this hard? Hell no. But they did.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. So, and again, there's got to be so many things that are going on behind the scenes that people probably don't know about, but they'll never, some stuff they just can't say publicly. Like, if this is a shareholder problem and the shareholders wanted it out and they wanted their investment back, they will never say that publicly. Never.
Right.
Yeah.
So we may never know.
Unless one of the devs quits and tells all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, unless someone leaks something or something like that, then that would make sense. But it will never be publicly said by CD Projekt Red themselves, because they're better off shooting themselves in the foot at that point.
Right.
Hopefully, this will be the last time we hear anything about Cyberpunk being this bad. But
it'll probably be a topic week in and week out, I would say, until the PS5. Until it gets ironed out, it's going to be a topic, probably, I would say.
Yeah.
But not this long. You know.
That being said, if you're, like, enjoying the game,
good
then,
for
like,
you.
kudos to you. And I hope, like, nothing, like, super shitty, like, crashing is happening to you.
Like, yeah, I can't wait to play it. You know?
I am looking forward to playing it. Obviously not on PlayStation 4, but like we were talking about earlier, like, to each their own. If you enjoy it, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone is, you know, you can have your subjective opinion about everything, and you know, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. I mean, I don't think none of us are not happy. Like, none of us have actually played it, but if you have fun playing it, go right ahead. I mean, I think Wage and I have the same stance about The Witcher 3, but
Yeah.
wouldn't be my first choice of game to play, but there's people that live and die by that game. So, I mean, go right ahead. If it makes you happy, play it.
Play what you guys want. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. But don't play Radalika games.
No. They're evil.
And catch us next time on the next Rogue Hunters podcast.
And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. That actually helps us a lot. And if you really like us, subscribe.
Yes. We will also have all of our socials down in the description below. I will link all of our Twitters and also all of our PSN accounts if you want to go give any of those a check as well.
Also, please send in any topics that you guys would want us to talk about.
Yes, please.
You can either send it to the Rogue Hunters Twitter or comment down below. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everyone.
See you, everyone. I'm going to go take a piss now. I'm putting that in there this time again.